The premise of everything I do in my fitness and wellness system involves complementing the martial arts that I practice. I need to maintain my flexibility, my speed, and my muscular endurance. Today I'm going to show you a few different exercises that complement the motions behind punches and kicks, as well as core and back stabilization. I'm going to go through these exercises very slowly, methodically, so you can see how I do it and why. I hope you enjoy it.
Now here, I'm utilizing this as a warm-up, starting with the legs, because in martial arts, stances are the base and the structure of everything you do. First, I'm isolating the weight into my heels, just for about 10 reps. And then I'm going to switch my feet and press with the balls of my feet, which is what you kick with when you do a front kick. So I'm isolating those muscles in that motion strictly. As I let it come back, I inhale, and as I push, I exhale. Nothing too crazy, it's just a warm-up, getting ready for the next exercise. Now here, I'm utilizing a normal squat. However, the form dictates what I am isolating. I have the weights resting on my trapezius muscles. That's the safest place to put them, the most comfortable spot. My legs and my feet are directly under my hips, and as I come down, I connect my hips with my legs. And as I come up, I press my hips forward, much like yoga. This works the stabilization of the core and the back muscles, as well as the hips. It kind of gets into the areas of building strength around your hips. Now, first you need alignment before you can do something like this. That's what you can find in your yoga and anything that involves stretching and aligning your hips and your spine. This is certainly a great exercise to isolate the core and the back, as well as the legs. Now here, I'm starting to isolate more of my back muscles, a little bit of my arms, and it's kind of an endurance test. Rather than focusing on how many pull-ups I can do or how many dips I can do, I'm trying to do just a couple of very slow movements, as slow as I possibly can without losing control. I inhale as I come down and I exhale as I pull up. And here, I'm doing dips. Now what I do here is as I come up, I hold it, and then I inhale as I drop down slowly, leaning forward slightly to really isolate the chest as well as the triceps and a little bit of the back muscles, and then push myself up. Here we get a little more involved, a little more focus on repetition, as well as introducing the core. As you see here, as I bring my legs up, I hold them there briefly, and then pull them back in, and then I go down, and then I press back up. So it's a bit of a superset with the dip. A little faster than before, but still nice and easy, nice and slow, really focusing on strength training, really focusing on balance and stabilization. The triceps are key muscles for punches, The core is key for all body movement, especially in martial arts. You'll also notice as I pull my legs up there, it strengthens my hip flexors. So this motion I'm doing as I bring my leg up is similar to a kick, and then I bend it back. Now here, I'm going to turn around. I'm going to go back to the pull-ups. And I'm just going to do as many as I can do after doing all of the previous exercises. I like to shoot for a minimum of 7 when I'm not doing my 12 to 20 rep goal. I like to shoot for a minimum of 7. I think that's a good number. That's just me. 1 is better than none. Inhale as you come down and exhale as you pull up. And then I just come down slow. One more time. The key to all of this stuff is being methodical, breathing, focusing on each move one at a time. Here I'm working the pulling muscles, but I'm keeping my elbow tight to my body as I pull it, as if I'm pulling somebody, or reversing a punch. If you see as I release the pull, it looks like a punch off of my rear hand. Now I'm just working the upper body rotation here. I'm not involving my leg in this instance because I'm pulling. Now I'm inhaling as I release, and I'm exhaling as I pull. Generally, you want to exhale when there's tension, for the most part. Now I switch sides. You can see a bit of a better view from here. Trying not to hyperextend the arm, although you can't quite see the inner part of my elbow here, but I am not hyperextending my arm. See the slight body rotation of the upper body, very slight. This is more focused with the back muscles, using the laterals combined with the deltoids and the triceps. All of those muscles together back up a punch in martial arts, if the mechanics are done correctly. If your elbow is further up, you're just using your arm and your deltoid muscles. You want to involve your back. From an exercise perspective, it's better. You're burning more calories. You're having more strength behind what you're doing. More of your body is involved. Now here, I'm turning around, going off of the back arm, but this time I'm pushing. And I'm involving the back leg, and I'm turning it. Keeping it straight, keeping my heel on the floor, and reaching. Now I'm involving the hips, and the upper body, and the back muscles, and the triceps, and the chest, and the deltoids. Keeping the other arm up so I can stay focused on my line of sight. Not hyperextending my arm, keeping it slightly bent. Lightly gripping as if I'm punching and there's nothing there. Exhaling with the punch, inhaling as I come back, rotating with the punch, rotating back as I come. Pull it back. One at a time. Focusing on the breath. Tightening up the mechanics. Keeping that elbow just barely scraping your rib cage. That's where you want it to work. All of those muscle groups. You have proper body mechanics. Now, if you can't keep your back leg straight, that's okay. Keeping it bent is just fine. A lot of boxers do that. You're still working the hips. When you keep it straight, you're working your hamstrings a little more and your calves. You're also a lot more stable for that brief moment you're holding it. You can see I let my elbow go back slightly to feel it in my chest. Really focusing on working all of the upper body, all of the core, all of the back. And I'm slightly leaning, as you can see, with the rotation of the hips. It's as if there's a stick attached to my leg that goes straight up to my shoulders. And just like yoga, the crown of the head is lined up with the hips. That's where your stabilization comes from. And if I didn't tell you, you might not even know you're working a punch here. Nice and easy. And I like to do things in the middle, kind of even out how I feel, and just here I'm just slowly walking back, kind of working small movements, pulling a little bit, feeling it right in my chest, right in my deltoids, even a little bit in the triceps, believe it or not. You isolate different muscles depending on your range of motion and form in the exercise. So don't let anybody tell you that what you're doing is wrong, because if you have a reason for doing it and it works for that reason, then it's correct. Just as long as you're aware of what you're doing and you're not going to hurt yourself. Finally, after working the core and most of the upper body, I'm giving a little bit of love to my lower back. These are kind of variations of a standing forward bend, or Uttanasana, what you see in yoga. You want to relatively keep your legs straight, however slightly bending them is okay, because you want to take the tension out of your lower back. You don't want it to be tense, you want it to be relaxed. The weight is more of a counterweight. It's kind of helping you focus down, and as you come back up, that's where the resistance is, as you're coming up. Now this is not recommended if you have back issues. You want to work on that first and try to get that healed through stabilization of the hips and the spine. But here, this strengthens your lower back. If your core is strong, your lower back will be strong. When you work the core, you want to work the lower back a little bit too. This is a bit of an unorthodox technique, but it works well for me.
That was a basic introduction into some exercises that can complement the motions in the martial arts, whether it be punches, kicks, or just general stabilization. It gives you good structure and good strength training to work with good mechanics. So if you stick to those when you're not utilizing any types of resistance training, you will find that you have a lot more power, a lot more endurance, and tighter mechanics. And that is really what the basis behind the martial arts is having good mechanics and having good balance. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great day.